As you can see, I'm sitting here in the new Mercedes-Benz SLS, and over the weeks and months to come, you're going to be seeing and reading all manner of tests comparing this new supercar to other modern supercars, Ferraris, Maseratis, Porsches, Lamborghinis, that sort of thing. But today, we're here at the Mercedes-Benz World Test Track in Brooklands to shine a rather different kind of light on it. There is, in fact, only one car that can really show us where Mercedes-Benz was coming from when it tasked its AMG division to design a brand new purpose-built supercar. And the clue is here, in these, until now at least, unique Gullwing doors. This Mercedes 300 SL, or Gullwing as everyone calls it, is nothing less than the world's first true supercar. And now I'm going to try to describe just how fast it was when it came out in 1954. Under the bonnet, it had a 220 horsepower fuel-injected 3-litre 6-cylinder engine, which, coupled with its exceptionally aerodynamic body, meant it could slip through the air at around 150 miles an hour, which was more than double what the typical road car, Morris Minor or Ford Anglia or something like that, could do in the day. Very impressive. But not half so impressive as the fact that when one, a completely standard showroom car, was entered into the 1955 Mille Miglia, it came home a 5th overall, beating a whole host of Le Mans specification racing prototypes on the way. It is, you will agree, one hell of an act for this SLS to follow. Even with its 563 horsepower V8 engine at top speed of 200 miles an hour, 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds, there's no way this SLS would ever keep up with even the slowest car racing at Le Mans this year. But that's not really the point. What is so satisfying, so reassuring about the way this SLS goes about its business is that it is exactly the same approach as that taken by the Gullwing all those years ago. First and foremost, the SLS is a real proper sports car. It's a car that can be taken by the scruff of the neck and really hurled around. It's got a lot of grip and a lot of traction, but when it starts to slide, it does so beautifully. But it is also surprisingly refined. The ride is extremely good for a car of this sort. The interior is beautifully appointed, and that massive 6.2-litre V8 can make an amazing noise if you want it to. But equally, if you don't, it can be very quiet indeed. And it was exactly the same ability to blend outrageous road and track performance with exceptional on-road civility that created the legend of the Gullwing in the first place. Now this is an extremely valuable car. It's a very rare one too. It's probably worth about twice as much as the SLS is, so forgive me if I don't go and do mad skids in it. But I have driven one of these things in anger before, and I can tell you that the performance for the era was simply electrifying. This is a car that will cruise at over 120 miles an hour. In 1954, that made it a rocket ship. And the handling, well, lots has been said about the way these cars handle, but in truth, it's nothing like as bad as many would have you believe. Yes, you've got to be careful with it, but as long as you're sensible, it's fine. The only thing about this car which really shows its age are its brakes. It's got drum brakes, which for a car of this performance level are simply inadequate. But in all other ways, this car feels about 20 years ahead of its time. So I guess the question is the SLS today as groundbreaking as the Gullwing was back in 1954? And the answer to that is clearly that it's not. Frankly, nothing ever could be these days. So perhaps the more relevant thing to ask is whether it is at least a worthy successor to the legend of the Gullwing. And the answer to that is that it is all that and more, without the slightest shadow of a doubt.